Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to analyze gold as usual. This is because we have backtested our strategy here and we have monitored how gold most of the time moves. As you can see from the chart, from this gold chart, and the reason as to why, guys, let me tell you this first. The reason as to why we are doing gold only, we want to be consistent. We want to specialize with gold, a single asset, that is gold only, and again a single strategy, that is SMC, concentrating only with order blocks and see what the market wanna print for us. You can see clearly on this descending channel of ours that the gold is in a downtrend. Why do I say that? Here structure is the key. You can see, when was this? Let me see. You can see around January 26, the market did change character here, and after that we have been forming consecutive. This was our new lower low. This formed our new lower high. Again we formed a new lower low, and as you can see here we have a potential lower high, but yet the market has not yet confirmed that, not until we go beyond this our recent lower low. But nevertheless we are able to quote a trade within this pullback here. You know from the textbook that the market respects structure. You can see when this our new lower high formed here, we did break this low here and formed our new lower low, and from the textbook the market move in structure. We break and retest, break and retest, break and retest. So during this pullback here, as we retest this previous bullish order block that failed, and now it's a potential resistance, you can call it a flip zone or potential resistance here. You can clearly see that the market is recently reacting on this zone here. During this structure here, we are able to find this trade here, and I'm going to take you through how we did get that. This is our first hour chart, guys, and you can see the charts are clearly be seen. So what do you have, guys? After tapping this potential resistance here, the market did change character at about this level. So what do we expect the market to do after this change of character here? We expect the market to pull back into a very extreme order block here that has formed within our long-term resistance here. A flip zone has overlapped now with a new bearish order block. But before the market gets here, when do we know that it has bottomed? You can clearly see here, after getting to this area, the market did change character here. And how do we know that? This was our last internal break of structure on our 4-hour chart, and after closing above our very recent low high, we formed a change of character. And in this channel, guys, we don't take trades not until we see a change of character. We know well that the market is supposed to do this retestment to our zone here, bearish for our order block, but as it gets there we can get a trade. And here in this channel we only take trade when we experience a change of character. And what happened here, guys, you can see clearly we have our change of character. So we are supposed to patiently wait for the market to get into our bullish order block here. We are able to formulate this, guys, on 30 minutes, and when the market got to this zone here, What happened? You can see after tapping that zone, the market went straight up. But let me tell you guys, the market does not just go straight up that way or that easy. You can see those who had set limit orders at about this level. Sorry for that, guys. Those who had set limit orders at about this 30 minutes order block, they were taken out. You can see here we had a sweep of this lower low. We had a sweep of that liquidity on that lower low. What happened after that? After sweeping the liquidity of this low, you can see we formed an engulfing, a 4-hour engulfing candle. You can clearly see that we formed a 4-hour engulfing candle. And after forming that 4-hour engulfing candle, some guys may call this a morning star, but here we only deal with a change of character, an order block, an engulfing candle. After sweeping this liquidity and forming this our engulfing candle here, our first entry is the retest of this previous candle. This is our doji here. You can set your trap exactly at this candle, all since I've backtested this, and so that the market most of the time revisits this previous candle before the engulfing. Before this engulfing, we have this previous candle here, our doji. This is an indecision candlestick. The psychology behind this candlestick, you can see we had an indecision between sellers and buyers before we actually decided that the buyers won from that indecision. So the market most of the time backtested and saw that it usually retests the previous candle here. And if you go on a lower time frame, you're going to see structures. The market is following structures here, but this is a high time frame. It was a low time frame. So what I did, I set my trap here on the retest of our previous candlestick here. I did set my trap there, the stop line, placed the stop loss immediately below that candle that is to be retested. That was about 170 pips with a potential target. This is our recent high here. Don't forget, guys, that this is counter trending. The trend was overall to the downside, but this is during this counter trend. We want to quote this trade as the market gets to the upside, but to play it much safer. The market is not always guaranteed. We did our first TP here, which was around 1,033 points, guys. That was our TP for that trade, our first TP for that trade. But most of us, guys, we don't have huge accounts, so since 170 pips, it's not that small. That's around $17, guys, on a single trade. So we opened a single 0.01 trade here. We had only a single position, but if you had, let's say, a better account, you could have opened with a lot size that as the market gets into a favor, you can take partials. These are being our first target until we get to the final TP. And what is our final TP? Our final TP is definitely these are our bearish order block, for order block that has overlapped with this flip zone. So we got this trade by actually pocketing around 1,000 333 pips. So what is our next trade, guys? Here, following this internal trend here, you can see that in this very internal bullish break of structure, and you can see we had impulsive moves to the upside until we took out this high. So what we are expecting the market to do is to get back to this our bullish for our order block. We don't just set traps, we wait for the reaction, and if an engulfing candlestick forms, for our engulfing candlestick forms, we set our traps on our previous candlesticks before the engulfing forms, and then we wait for the market to yield, or it's either to yield or take us out by either hitting our TP or our SL, guys. So we are waiting for the market to actually get to this zone here. This is our very zone, our bullish order block, and after tapping there, this will be our first take profit and our final TP here. But we don't know that not until the market gets here and actually respect this bullish for our order block. I will update you guys as we are going to take this trade. I'll make sure that I've updated you guys. Consider subscribing to the channel, and see you in our next video.